Hi, I'm Craig. Film enjoy living in England, and my wife and I went out today. We went fish shopping. So I'd like you all to welcome Maple and Pecan to the Raiders of a Podcast family. My two fish, my two new fish. So they will be getting pics. They will be getting their own special. They'll be getting whatever they like because they're very cute. I didn't realise fish could be cute, but I discovered today that fish can be quite adorable.
What kind of fish are they?
They're platies, which is why I
Ooh.
called them maple and pecan, because I love a maple pecan plat.
Nice. I'm Dave Gray, and this week I learned dreams can come true, assuming the Grim Reaper waits a few months.
I'm Tyler Hosley, and to quote American singer-songwriter Chad Kroeger, I'm gonna pop my pills from a Pez dispenser.
Chad Kroeger is a proud Canadian. You.
Oh yeah, he is Canadian, isn't he?
Yeah, and
That was
those
just
pills
completely
are just
fucked
for
up.
like lower back pain. Just that's
I mean, I mean, that's what I was popping pills from this week when I had sciatica. So yes,
it.
I get it. I get it,
You
Chad.
took so many pills, you forgot that Kroeger is Canadian.
I did, but I did. I will not forget that he married Avril Lavigne for a little bit there.
And that's the only reason anyone would marry Avril Lavigne, being Canadian.
I'm Kevin Matthews, Scottish film fan living in England, and this week I am once again reminded of the sheer length and breadth of opinions and character we have here on the podcast when Dave hopes that he can live his dreams if the Grim Reaper waits a while, and Tyler would live his dreams if the Grim Reaper hurried up and took a load of people anyway, because he would still go. He would wire people up to the mains, he would have his lube. It's any time's Tyler time, where the Grim Reapers are not, right, T?
It's true.
Look,
Yeah.
Dave doesn't have many standards. You can check his dating profiles to see that, but breathing is the one non-negotiable I have.
Fair
What
enough.
a time
Does
for
it-
Last
like-
of Us to be a necrophile. Like there are living women who like hit him up on Instagram all the time. Like he's not having to like lower himself like that. Whereas
He's not
sorry,
having
Dave
to,
might,
Craig.
yeah.
He's not having to, but there's that extra thrill. Anyway, everyone listening, you can crack open a cold one, and this is Raiders of the Podcast.
Yay!
I don't want to say that I'm a martyr for the cause, and I haven't gone through more than any other film fan in the world. But then again, maybe I have. Maybe I am the most unjustly pilloried and attacked Kevin Sevener out there, because I sat through Melania, so you guys didn't have to. And
You know I already did.
like, oh, did you?
already
Oh, I
did.
I honestly
It's
didn't
why I
realize
said,
you had.
take it from me, don't fucking do it. I talked about
Oh.
it. I spent 10 minutes crying a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's
You just don't
Well,
ever listen to me, man.
I am
I've
wondering.
heard it like sorry.
No.
I've heard it's quite amusing in that you can her disdain for her own husband is like really clear at several points, and that makes some scenes quite fun.
But
She
the
hates him.
movie's like way longer than that.
Exactly. Like you don't need 100 minutes of a documentary tonight. You can watch any news clip where they're in the same room and she doesn't
you
want
see
to be
that-
touched by him with a 10-foot pole.
It's like an hour and 50 minutes of the most vapid anyway, I'll let Kevin speak. I'm sorry.
What I find strange about this, and now I haven't seen this out in the wild, so I may be misspeaking, but like you cannot review it as a documentary or a movie. You can't. It is a propaganda piece. It is as loaded with like lies and a lack of self-awareness as anything that they do in real life. So I would be interested if anyone ever wrote a review of this, like I did. I was quite scathing and tried to go off on a few tangents to remind everyone of how bad Melania is, how bad her husband is, how bad Brett Ratner is, and how he's only come back because there is someone way worse than him in charge of the entire United States. I'd be interested if people respond and be like, "Ooh, just try and review the film and keep politics out of it," because surely even they know, like it's one long advert for them. It's Mark Kermode mentioned it as a heist movie because the Trumps have just pillaged the White House. I mention it more as an unfolding horror film because it is a reminder of the just honestly the absolute shit show. I think there are times where she tries to remind people
Move
she's
her
human.
face.
Yeah, it is like those clips where you saw would you call him Zuckerberg glitching. It's like that when she's trying. She's gone about how much she loves her mother, and her mother passed. Her mother and father were very dear and happily married. Be like, oh, is that your immigrant parents that were here, while everyone else is getting sent away, or shot, or put in camps where they can die if they've got an abscess in their tooth and it's untreated? Is that the compassion? She wants to save the children. I mean, a bit more ironic when I've watched this in a week where there was a school bombed and we are constantly reminded of the children taken away from their parents. It's awful. And when they have a conversation about Baron, it's like, do you remember the 80s movie Daryl? I can't remember
Yes.
what it stood for, but it was like some
Not if I
robot
can
film.
help it.
Well, they Melania and Donald Trump talk about Baron as if he's like Daryl. Or it's some robot boy. I think he may be some robot boy that they are just trying to get the programming right, and they're confused if he's not exactly the way they want him to be. And I'm not casting aspersions or insulting Baron at all. It's their conversations about him. Like they have conversations that they just sound wrong and unnatural as parental conversations about children. So yeah, it's not their.
Is
It's just
is he
not their
Melania's
thing.
kid?
I don't keep track of the lineage,
Because I do
so
feel
I
like Baron
don't know.
is you. People put it in Baron as in like the monarchy or whatever. I feel like it's like a dig at somebody's womb. Maybe at Melania's like egg.
Oh,
You know.
I
don't know.
I feel that is far wittier than the man is capable of.
Yeah, that's true. I just thought it might be about her egg production that maybe they made him elsewhere in a lab and he just wanted to have a dig at her. I don't know. It's a wild theory.
I
I
mean,
mean, that is a possibility.
it's very bad.
Yeah, I
Like at
mean,
least
yeah,
there's artistic merit and triumph of the will, but that doesn't even have this. It does open to give me shelter, and you see a bobblehead of Trump as a Terminator, and there's a
yeah, it opens with that, and there's a bit later on, isn't there, where Ratner's trying to do his cheesy, cheaper version of like Goodfellas,
yeah. Well,
one take wonder.
Ugh.
there's
That's
a steady
awful.
cam shop as they wander through a
Yeah.
series of hallways, and I'm trying to remember what the song was that plays during it.
I want to give
Um,
Marty a hug. He
was
probably doesn't even know about this, but
was it not one of the? Oh, was it not?
It's
And then he kissed me.
yes, it's
Was it
and then
not
he kissed me by the
so?
crystals.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is
that's
playing
it.
in Goodfellas at that
Yeah, it is.
sequence.
It is. I
Yeah,
just could not
it's
for the life
awful.
like I just totally brain farted on who sang it. I could only think of Phil Spector, and I didn't want to mention Phil Spector ever.
Fortunately, when I discussed being tempted by this, Dave did remind me to try and do whatever possible to not give Amazon the click. So I do still have Prime at the moment. I feel bad and guilty about that, and it's one of my vices. But I did not give them a click for this because fuck them.
sorry. If
Nope.
Melania hadn't married Trump, we would have ended up seeing her at some point just in one of Tyler's picks, somewhere down the line,
Yeah.
playing, I don't know,
I think the
disease
fact that
ravaged
you
stripper number 4.
the fact that you think that's not still in her future is
Exactly. I mean, that's still a
'cause,
distinct
like,
possibility.
look, he's not a spring chicken. He's either gonna, pass away and she'll be cut out by the surviving children, or he's going to divorce her and marry Erica Kirk or someone, and she will be left with nothing, like all his other ex-wives and
She ends
lovers
up playing the
and
wise and
maids.
jaded landlady in Zombie Strippers 3 Night of the Living Clit. That is what will happen. So we'll all see that. In better news, I rewatched Thelma and Louise, and that holds up wonderfully well. I really love Susan Sarandon and Gina Davis in that. It's definitely I think for both of them that was a real sort of it was just a career highlight, and then Sarandon went on to do lots more. Davis didn't do so much more, I think, because they tried the action movie stuff with her, and that didn't land as well for many people. Although I'm a big fan of her action movie work. The pleasant surprise about Thelma and Louise that I totally forgot though is that it's quite an even split with the male characters as well. Like for some reason, I thought Thelma and Louise is a really good film, and it's about them, and quite rightly it focuses on them. And I thought, and all the men are bastards, because why wouldn't it be? And that's what Thelma and Louise is. There's definitely one, horrible bastard. There's another amusingly horrible bastard played by oh God, what's his name? Is it Christopher McDonald who plays Shooter McGavin?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
Christopher McDonald. And like he, I know if you met him in real life, he has to be like the nicest guy because he's just too good at playing douchebags. Like you cannot be a douchebag if you can play douchebags that well on screen. I think the exception to this rule, obviously, is Vincent Gallo, but Christopher McDonald is so good in this. Brad Pitt is there being cute and Brad Pitt for the ladies, but Harvey Keitel is great as the cop who knows that something's up and something's happened. And then Michael Madsen is really quite nice in this, and his moments with Sarandon, they're really good. He's not a perfect guy, but he's really there for in the kind of, you need this. Okay, I can't ask you all about this. I'm still going to ask you about it, but okay, you need to go. That's the way they have their conversation about how things have developed, and I really like that, and I hadn't remembered any of that at all because it's Thelma and Louise, and when you think back on it, if you've not watched it for a while, you're like, Thelma and Louise is great. They are great in the leads, and oh yeah, all men are bastards because because they are. But it was a nice one to revisit. Another nice one to revisit, very much on the other end of the scale, I would say, gender-wise anyway, is The Untouchables. I'm a big fan of The Untouchables. And it was this viewing though, this time around, again, I messaged you guys. Actually, I don't have any regrets or resentment about Connery getting his Oscar for this performance. I know we can keep making running jokes about his wonderful array of accents and what he does here, but like he's the highlight of the film. He gets all the best lines from the script. He's great in his performance. It just really is pretty fantastic, and that's so much better than I think De Niro's overdoing it slightly at this point. I think he's really good, but I would have liked to see Bob Hoskins in that role.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that could have been much better. And Hoskins dined out on that tale for a long time about getting paid to not do the part, which is fantastic. But I really like Charles Martin Smith, who plays Oscar, who's basically he's the agent and the accountant who keeps coming up with this scheme. It's almost a running joke. We're like, yeah. We don't want to chase him for tax evasion. Andy Garcia is really good in this, and I forgot that. Oh God, who plays Costner's wife again? Patricia Clarkson. Yeah, is the worried wife, and that's her role. But it was nice to see her pop up. I'd forgotten she was in it. And Costner's good. He does this kind of thing well. The unwavering moral compass, basically. Also, yeah, another great villainous turn from Billy Drago. Drago's
Yes.
really good in this. Uh, Absolutely fantastic. Between this and his turn in Vamp, I think I spent a lot of the 80s terrified that I would walk around a corner at some point in Edinburgh and bump into Billy Drago, who would just who would just be wearing a trench coat and looking to terrorize people and then eventually kill them.
Yeah,
That's
you
that's the
want a
trauma.
little fun fact?
Please don't tell me you've randomly bumped into Billy Drago because
No,
I
but I
would
know
shit my
somebody that
pants.
grew up with Billy Drago.
All
Who I
right.
used to know. Friend of the podcast, Chris, he guested a while ago.
Yeah.
His stepdad grew up with Billy Drago. They went to school together. So I've seen pictures of Billy Drago and his stepdad as basketball players for their high school team in
That's
their
awesome.
awkward phases. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And I watched the last horror film, which I keep titling as the last horror movie, which is a different film. So this is one with Joe Spinell looking to make his horror movie at the Cannes Film Festival and get it done sneakily, get his favorite star in it, who's played by Carolyn Monroe, whether she wants to be in it or not. It was okay. It was it was a bit tamer than I thought it was going to be. It doesn't really do enough with that central idea, obviously, because I was trying to snatch the footage at Cannes. But I think working around that, if if they hadn't been so concerned with actually getting that footage done and sort of roving around that area to bulk out the runtime, I think they could have done better by sharpening up the screenplay and doing a bit more work on some of the death scenes because I just thought there was going to be a bit more. But if you want, sweaty and twitchy Joe Spinell, I mean, he's done better performances in other better known films. But if you're after some prime twitchy, sweaty Spinell, then this will serve you well. And then last but not least, last week on Shudder, I dived into their latest film that was on there called Crazy Old Lady. I was a bit wary of this one, but it's pretty well done. Basically, a guy is asked by his ex-partner if he can check in on her mother because she's had a couple of phone calls. She's a bit worried she's traveling away. Can he check in on her? Just make sure she's all right to that. Blah, blah. He goes along. The mother starts to identify him as someone else, wants to keep him there, wants to, not be nice to him, and she is sort of in and out of clear thinking. I did always worry about how much this was like really exploiting like the idea of senility and Alzheimer's changing someone's personality. But I think it's generally done well enough to make it kind of worthwhile. And you do have someone like the performance is really good, but you do have someone as a main character who you can watch be quite dangerous and worrying, but also feel a bit of sympathy for because either they will come to at some point and realize what they are doing or what they have done. Or it's, in a way, it is just as sad to think of them like not realizing any of the pain they might have caused others or any of the loss they might have created for themselves or in their actions with what they're doing here. So I do think that was quite interesting, and as I say, well done for how it needed to be. Although I would understand if other people watched it and thought it was, in really poor taste, or they just thought it was too exploitative and didn't like it at all. So I would warn people to be wary of it, but I think they kind of got things just right, considering where the starting point for the premise was. And that is me.
So only one for me this week, but I saw The Bride twice, both times in IMAX. Uh, Maggie Gyllenhaal just took like $90 million from Warner Brothers and made a giant feminist, romantic, crime hybrid art film. I mean, it's part Bonnie and Clyde. There's a little natural born killer sprinkled in there, just all set in the Frankenstein universe. It's pure fucking chaos, and it's filled with like female rage. It's amazing. Jessie Buckley and Bale are phenomenal. Buckley is just perfect in this role. Like, I cannot express that enough. I fucking love her performance in this. She plays both Mary Shelley and the bride, and she's wonderful. I hope she wins the Oscar for Hamnet because she was incredible in that as well. But my God, she's just fucking amazing in this movie. I loved Bale's take on the monster too. I mean, he's really good in this role. He's both lovable and could be like extremely violent as well. He plays it so good. But yeah, this is for me. This is the kind of cinema we need to go out and support. Just go support theatrically released films that aren't afraid to take huge swings. Just go support art. Go support female filmmakers. Maggie Gyllenhaal is amazing. I love her. She's an amazing actress. She's an amazing filmmaker. Yeah, this is going to be a fucking cult classic. Just mark my words. It's a masterpiece. I loved this movie, and I can't wait to see it again. I'm going to pick it as soon as this bitch drops on fucking digital so we can all talk about it because it's amazing, and I can't. Like, I liked a lot of movies this year. I like Scream. I like Psycho Killer. I liked all those movies. But this movie is like just a different level of good. And we're only in March, so there's still a lot of months left. But yeah, incredible film. And that's me.
Tyler, the obvious question, and you know why I'm asking this.
Uh-huh.
Did you like it more or less than Joker 2?
More.
Oh,
I love Joker 2. I think Joker 2 is another movie that I thought took a huge swing, and it didn't work for a lot of people, but it worked for me.
yeah.
But I thought this movie was just, yeah, this kind of does play out like a female Joker in many ways. I can't really say why because it's kind of a spoiler, but yeah, it kind of does. When you see it, you'll know. But yeah, if I had to pick between the two, I would pick The Bride over Joker 2. But I love them both.
Considering I hated Joker 2, do you think I've still got a chance of enjoying this one?
Yeah. Yes, I think you will find stuff to appreciate in this more than you will find stuff to appreciate in Joker 2 because I'm on an island with Joker 2. Of loving that movie, and I understand why. I do, but I love that movie. But I can see you liking The Bride a lot. There's a lot of stuff in here to like, and I think you'll dig it.
I had a pretty short week myself. I watched the movie that I wanted to pick but couldn't last week, Horror Express, a 2025 South Korean horror film. It's distinctly okay. Like the reviews for it, like the star rating on IMDb and Letterboxd are terrible. It's not that bad. It's just kind of generic. I don't get why it's getting some weird hate from people, but whatever. Not a lot of people, like 20 people. There's dedicated hate, which kind of blows my mind. But it's there. The cast is good. It's competently enough made. It just doesn't do anything interesting, and it kind of falls apart at the end. Besides that, I just played old Super Mario games because March 10th is Mario Day.
Ooh.
So took my niece through a guided tour of 1, Lost Levels 2, 3, and of course the Game Boy Classic Super Mario Land. Just didn't have time to do more?
I watched the 2025 horror movie Whistle. That's just your typical mainstream horror slop. It's got a really good premise. It's really a really solid premise, which has a ton of potential, but it is pretty much watered down to nothing. Just contrived plotting, really one-dimensional characters. They're making wildly illogical decisions, and not just usual horror movie decisions, like just ridiculous decisions. And it's just everything about it is just blandly generic. I've enjoyed the cast and other things, but they're all like differing levels of bad in this. Especially Daphne Keane. She is shockingly poor in this film, and I got really strong Rooney Mara in Elm Street vibes. Like I'm contractually obligated to do this film, but I won't be doing any acting. She is awful. There are a couple of decent like gore scenes in the second half that like impressively nasty, but I don't know. They're hampered by substandard CGI, so there's nothing really like fully good about it. It's mostly just bland. Like it might fare a little better if it's like a half ignored background watch, but don't do what I did. If you waste your Saturday night watching it, then you're just gonna dislike it. You're gonna be angry at it. So yeah, not a winner that one. Then I watched the 2025 comedy horror Invisible Raptor, and that is exactly what it says it is. There is an invisible dinosaur on the loose, and it's killing people. It's got a body count that goes into like double figures, and at least I counted 5 graphic decapitations, which is wonderful. But on the whole, it definitely leans like a lot further towards comedy than it does horror, which is fine because it's actually very funny in spots. It's just there are genuine laughs, but they are spread a little thin because this film is 2 hours long, and this silly film does not need to be 2 hours long. It should be 90 minutes. But on the whole, it's a very sweet-natured kind of buddy comedy. Great leads, especially David Shackelford. There's a good amount of practical and CGI mix. Invisible dinosaur carnage. There's dinosaur poop. There's some dinosaur jizz for Tyler. It's very silly. Like if the edit was quite a bit tighter, this could be like a future cult classic. But as it is, it's just good fun, and it's a real shame because I could see this really having more of a life going down the line than it's probably going to have, because it just doesn't really work as a 2 hour movie anywhere near as well as it would at 90 minutes. And there is stuff you could cut to bring it down to 90 minutes without you losing anything at all. So that's a shame. I'm assuming none of you have watched Invisible Raptor.
I have not.
Correct.
I mean, if I knew it was a thing, I would have.
Well, there you go. I'm going to say Kevin will like it. Dave is hard to say. Tyler, no. Don't do it, Tyler. You hate it. Those are my guesses. But I thought it was fun. But Kevin should definitely watch it. I think you'd like it. Its sense of humor would work with you. And then I watched Lynn Ramsey's 1999 feature debut, Ratcatcher. That's very good. It's a very grim kind of slice of impoverished life drama set in 70s Glasgow. Just what could be more glamorous than 70s Glasgow? It's got great performances, really, really authentic, especially from like the young lead. It's all very believable and grounded. The cinematography is fucking beautiful and has an excellent soundtrack. It's a weirdly beautiful looking and sounding film when you consider all the kind of boundless horror in it. It feels to me very much like a bridge film between films of Ken Loach and the films of Shane Meadows. It's got that vibe where it's very stark, but it's always like it's always too human and too hopeful to fall into that, poverty porn, misery porn kind of category. So I thought it was like a really impressive debut film. Like something kept me a little at arm's length. I didn't fully love it, but I thought it was really impressive. And I prefer stuff that Lynn Ramsey has done later, but she's an interesting filmmaker. This was an interesting start to her career. I'm going to assume that Kevin has seen Ratcatcher.
Yes, yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I have.
And you liked it as well, Tyler?
I did. I liked it a lot. I
Yeah.
really like Lynn Ramsey. I think she's really good. So yeah.
Yeah, I also liked
And-
Ratcatcher.
Yay. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. And I like Lynn Ramsey too. I don't think she always hits the mark, but yeah, she's an interesting filmmaker, and I'm always up for whatever she does. And that's wait there. No, that's me for the week. Oh, and welcome. We did the welcome bit.
Yeah.
I'm getting confused in my old age.
And old. No, now it's time for this bit. This week, we watched the 2024 South Korean horror thriller Noise and the 2025 American biographical comedy drama Blue Moon. Hey, Craig,
Yes.
would you like to pick a movie and tell us about it?
Sure. I'm going to go with Blue Moon, which was Kevin's pick, wasn't it? Yeah. Wait there. I'm going to look up the synopsis on IMDb because I didn't write one down, and I can't be bothered to drink one up. So, tells the story of Lorenz Hart's struggles with alcoholism and mental health as he tries to save face during the opening of Oklahoma. I had my doubts about this one because I love Ethan Hawke, and I saw that same clip that Kevin did when he picked this film. When Robert Aramayo won the BAFTA for Best Actor, and he mentioned Ethan Hawke as an inspiration, and the cameras caught Hawke leaning over to someone else in the audience and telling him that's better than winning. And any other actor on earth, and I mean anyone, I'm going to call bullshit on that. And I'm like rolling my eyes a full 360 degrees. I'm like, absolute bullshit. But I completely believe it coming from Hawke, because if you've ever listened to Ethan Hawke talk about not just movies, but talk about music, talk about literature, talk about theatre, he's never given me any reason to doubt that that's who he is, because he just seems to live and breathe art. His art, your art, my art, whoever, whatever, he's championing it. He's just a huge champion for making art and putting it out there. And I've got all the time in the world for him, and I'm all for giving Hawke his flowers. But this film, it's a biographical drama with Oscar buzz, and that just puts a rank taste in my mouth automatically, as unfair as that might be. And to be honest, I don't think it's unfair, because biographical dramas coming in Oscar season are usually hot shit, just the most generic hot shit. So I was not excited for this, but I ended up really, really enjoying it, and thinking it's a pretty great showcase for Ethan Hawke as an actor, because I've never known him to be front and center like this. Like he might be like top billing, but when he's not a supporting actor, he's generally he has a shared lead. He's a co-lead. It's very rare to have like a whole film revolve around his character. So I thought that was interesting. I really enjoyed seeing him take center stage, and he's fantastic. Like, people say, oh no, they talk about great performances and say, these complex performances. I say that he's in every scene. Yeah, he's in every scene of this, and he is also speaking for like 90% of the total runtime of this film. Like, he does not stop. And it's kind of a roller coaster watching this guy talk his way into better situations and back into bad situations, and switching from this incredible warmth to charm to like bitterness and self-destructive self-pity. Like there are opening quotes of this movie that describe Lorenz Hart. One saying that he is the most fun person you'll ever meet, and another saying he is the saddest person I ever met. And Hawke sells that perfectly, and immediately you can tell that this is a man who is desperately sad and covering it up with just being this fun, this fun party guy. And he's he's just a very interesting character. You know, I never know how much of what he's feeling is, how much of it is just like deep self-loathing turned outward, and how much of it is this kind of annoyance that he's, as he says, he's drunk with beauty and he's constantly disappointed in the people around him because they're drunk on praise and they're drunk on success and they're drunk on money, and he's just disappointed in the world. And there's that mix that just makes his character so interesting. I don't think even he really knows quite what it is that's just getting at him. And yeah, I just found him really interesting. And like, I've never seen Oklahoma with an exclamation point, but he fully convinced me that I already hate it. I hate Oklahoma. Never seen it, never will. I hate it. That's how much of a persuasive person his Lorenz Hart is. He's fantastic. And like, there are other actors in the film, most notably like Andrew Scott and Margaret Qualley, who at least they get at least one really strong scene each. But as great as they are, one of the other things that these scenes do is they demonstrate one of Ethan Hawke's biggest strengths, I think, in that he is a hugely generous performer. Like, he has absolutely zero interest in upstaging anyone ever. He is just riffing with them, you know. He is a consummate collaborator, which is one of the things I really love about him. Script is brilliant. I don't know how much is Robert Kaplow, the writer, and how much is Kaplow just putting Lorenz Hart's own words in a pleasing order that makes sense. I don't know, but it's a great script. It's funny, it's biting, it's poignant, it's philosophical, and some of it's just silly and you know, funny. Like what's that line there? Jack Robbins, formerly Rabinowitz, he had his name circumcised. To be even like 1/10 as witty as the average bitchy, you know, gay writer would be wonderful. Like, just incredible wit. And I had very few issues with the film. I think visually it's very much a filmed play. Like, it looks like a half expensive theatre set, but that's kind of all it needs to be. To be fair, it's all that's needed. It might even in itself be a comment on, you know, living life on a stage. I think Marvel have kind of ruined things, like having cameos from the creator of Stuart Little and having Stephen Sondheim pop up. Now it just feels like, you know, they're joining the Avengers. I'm afraid it's just another thing that Marvel have ruined. So, you know, I don't think it's incredibly well made technically, but otherwise, like, I had a really great time. I like the idea of showing the culmination of a life over one night. I think it's much more interesting and feels so much more like honest and thoughtful than the usual jukebox of significant life events that's getting Xeroxed every year, every fucking award season to make the same goddamn film. And this is a much more interesting way of doing it, and it's why, you know, Ethan Hawke he's not taking that best actor statue at home. It's not happening. But you know, he's got some loving from me, which is better than winning. Yeah, Ethan. Yeah. No, okay. But if you're listening, Ethan Hawke. But you know, I was very impressed, and it's just, you know, I just fucking love Ethan Hawke, and I'm actually glad that this is the performance of his where I got to do a bit of loving on him, because he's yeah, I love him. Love the man.
Well, yeah, Hawk is wonderful. I have some nitpicky issues with the film as a whole itself. They kind of lean into no homoing Lorenz Hart, which, granted, he's not on record as being homosexual, but it was one of those well-known open secrets because it was 1943 and you wouldn't document that. You'd get arrested. You know, you would get beaten to death in jail for it, you know. But if you know, so that's a bit of an issue. The writer bought some letters between a real woman, a real Yale student named Elizabeth Weiland, and just spun, you know, a fiction off of it, which I that's fine, but I also feel it's a little insulting to both. Just like how they give the story, the idea of E.B. White from E.B. White himself, it comes out of Lorenz Hart. And look, I think Hart was a fascinating, brilliant figure. He truly was. But they don't need to do that. White had been writing about Stuart Little for like 15 years before the book was published. Just little stories of his own for himself and you know, those he knew. So I have some small issues with it. There's some really fun deep cuts for Broadway stuff. Yeah, Sondheim was not at the opening of Oklahoma. He was a young teenager at the opening of Carousel, though. But that was a fun scene with the baby Sondheim. The rest of the cast is absolutely fantastic. Especially Bobby Cannavale as the bartender Eddie. The way they play off each other is very natural and very well done. Andrew Scott gives one of the better performances he's had of late. Like, I enjoy Andrew Scott, but he has not had the best run over the last few years for me. But his Rogers is solid. He's probably a bit kinder and more human than the actual Rogers was. Simon Delaney is decent as Hammerstein. You know, Jonah Lee plays a piano player in the bar, and he's solid. It's a good cast giving good performances, but it is all around Ethan Hawke's Lorenz Hart, and Hawke is amazing. It is an absolutely stunning performance, and it feels like a one-man show that's been expanded for film, where they gave a few lines to a couple folks that, you know, in stories that he would have related himself in the theater version. But yeah, this might be one of my favorite Linklaters by a good margin. It's a solid flick with some great lines and a really good cast. Yeah, he's not going to get the Oscar. Should he get the Oscar? I'm going to say probably. Like, I really liked I Swear. I thought I'm brain farting on his name, and I don't know.
Arameo.
Yes, Arameo was fantastic. But Hawke really brings it on a very, very big level. And not just, you know, Michael B. Jordan also brought it. I can't say anything bad about Wagner Moura and The Secret Agent either. I might say bad things about Timothée Chalamet, but that's more personal than the movie. So yeah, you know, you can't go wrong with any of them. But Hawke is pretty fucking amazing. Although so is Jordan, and DiCaprio is DiCaprio. So, you know, but nobody saw one battle after another, so that might help the others. Might being the operative term there.
I mean, there's a part of me that wants to see Michael B. Jordan.
I'd love to see Michael B. Jordan win. I just don't think it's going to happen because, well, it's a horror movie. And
Oh, yeah.
it's a horror movie, and the problem is after the BAFTA thing, no matter if he wins, and again, fully think he deserves to win. It's rare that you see anyone play dual roles and have them both be that. Like, there were points where I'm watching that movie and I forgot they were both Michael B. Jordan. And I know what he looks like, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not dumb, but he gave two such distinct performances for them that I had moments where I was like, oh, right, yeah, it's the same dude. Fucking duh. I mean, it's fantastic. He and Hawk should be the only people folks are talking about for this one. But I don't think either one's going to win, which is a shame. I will say I hate Oklahoma, but it is a landmark in musical theater, which I don't think the movie really explains, because it's the first time that they integrated song, dance, and story seamlessly. It is the birth of the modern musical. I hate it. I actually hate most Rodgers and Hammerstein works. It's not that they're both brilliant. I just don't like their type of play. I don't like how they handle a lot of things. But Oklahoma, Carousel, they created the modern musical. And again, I don't think the movie is really strong enough at getting that across, at just exactly how groundbreaking this was at the time. But, of course they wouldn't know that in the moment. Like, I guess Baby Sondheim would. But that'd be the only one there.
I'd forgotten. I forgot to mention the incredible special effects made to make Ethan Hawke quite short. You I don't know how they did it. Sometimes it did look legitimately amazing, and sometimes it looked like he was doing a Gary Oldman in Tiptoes. I'm not sure what different techniques they used.
There were a few times he was doing Gary Oldman in Tiptoes.
Yeah.
There's at least one where he was poorly blue screened in also. Generally it's not bad, but yeah, there were one or two where you're going, oh guys.
Tyler's like, what are you talking about? He was a normal height. Normal
Yeah,
average height.
What's wrong with 5 foot? God damn it! No, I'm a little taller than 5 foot. I'm 5'5", but close. But yeah, I was just about to open with that actually. Trying to make Ethan Hawke look short definitely borderlined on fucking Tiptoes territory. I like that movie, so I think that was good. But yeah, Tiptoes is way underrated. Really good. Just I think more people should watch that movie. I like that movie. Anyways, it's not about.
I was gonna pick it tonight, and then I chose something else. I was so close.
Oh, it's so good. So good. Fucking
Leave it,
Peter-
Tyler. Matthew Bright's not going to sleep with you. Just leave it.
I mean, he might after I see Spring Breakers 2 that he's directing, but hey. But
Well, when you buy 100,000 tickets to Spring Breakers 2, you'll have to.
true.
Hi, Matthew. My name's Tyler Hosley, but you can call me.
Oh, that's so true. But I really love that movie, and I Peter Dinklage in braids and cornrows is just great. So, but this is about Blue Moon though. Blue Moon is really good. Like it's a really good movie. I love a movie with like a good like one location setting, and I think Linklater utilizes that bar really well here. It's almost like you're watching like a live theater production. It's really well done. The script is good, just great natural sounding dialogue throughout. It's both funny yet incredibly heartbreaking at the same time with its themes of like loneliness and self-loathing and just substance abuse issues. It's a really solid character study all across the board. Ethan Hawke and Margaret Qualley are both fantastic. Qualley just keeps getting better and better. Love her. She's just a natural born talent. Hawk sold it so well that I genuinely got lost in his portrayal of Lorenz Hart. I'm not overly familiar with Hart as a person, to be totally honest. But like I said, I got totally lost in his portrayal. Hawk was great. Hawk was always good though. When is fucking Ethan Hawke not good? Now, me personally, I would still go with Timmy the Twink for Marty Supreme for Academy Awards because I really liked his performance in Marty Supreme. I just love Marty Supreme.
Anybody else could have played that fucking role. I'm sorry. Against the other Hawk and Jordan, there's no question. But you're right. It's probably going to be Chalamet winning. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
I mean, regardless of his opinions on ballet and opera, which people had a fucking heart attack about, which I'm surprised because I mean, I'm
Well,
not
it's because it was brain dead.
Yeah, it was a stupid take.
but he sold himself as a sad, lonely artist boy, but he's a dumbass, and
It
that's
was a
the
dumb.
problem.
It was
It
a dumb
was
take.
it was destroying the fiction that he's built his career off of.
And I do agree there. Like I said, but regardless of his opinion on that, it was a stupid take. But at the same time, I really don't care what someone's opinion is on opera and ballet because it doesn't really matter what Timothy Chalamet thinks of opera. They're still going to do opera, so it doesn't really matter. But I liked him in Marty Supreme. But I really like Linklater when he's in dialogue heavy talky mode. I know he didn't write this script or any of this dialogue, but I think he handles those situations well. They're well directed. Like the Before trilogy is my favorite from Linklater, and those are like super dialogue heavy movies as well. And I would say this falls in that similar territory of the Before trilogy. Not romance, but just heavy talky dialogue. And I think he directs it really well. But yeah, I like Blue Moon. I think it's really good. And I wouldn't say it's my favorite from Linklater. I would put like 3, 4 above it, but it's good stuff.
Can I just say as well, like I know it's called why it's called Blue Moon, and I know it fits in thematically, but I don't know how they resisted calling this film Cigarette Heart. I don't. That's just such a
Because
bad title.
he smokes cigars, Craig. He smokes cigars.
Well, I know he does, but he uses that line a couple of times
Yeah,
in the film, and I just think it's a really
I
really
know he
nice.
does, but I'm telling you why. Because the audience sort of left and been like, he smokes cigars. What the fuck, guys? God.
I guess.
Remember, we're in the worst timeline. Stop trying to think that we're somewhere better.
Well, I'm sorry.
Stop thinking that we're somewhere better.
We're in a weird timeline because I was listening to Craig and yourself praise this and thought, I'm bracing myself for what Tyler thinks. And then everyone like this, it's weird. I'm not used to this. Um, I I think I think it's got to be Jordan or DiCaprio for best actor. That's it. Jordan might buck the trend because they can reframe Sinners not as a horror movie, just as something that has some bad people in it for a few scenes. That's what they'll do.
There's a song about how much vampires love being vampires with a
It doesn't matter,
choreographed
Dave.
dance.
It'll be a musical dramatic thriller, and that's what it'll be forevermore. So they can give it some more awards. I think someone shared something online. They were like, years from now, you know, kids who grow up and watch Sinners will have their mind blown realizing that Michael B. Jordan's actually just one actor and it wasn't twins in that role, which is very true. Uh, I enjoyed Blue Moon. I was worried when it got going that I just thought actually I've picked something that everyone could hate. It's I th- I felt it was a hard film to love, mainly because Lorenz Hart is so hard to love throughout. You know, that's a character that's played with an admirable attempt to show kind of all of their flaws out there, even in the scenes when they themselves are trying to hide them away. So it's you know, it's good that um he is, you know, good company, bright, smart, witty, verbose. That all helps because otherwise you would be stuck in that bar with him and be, you know, just struggling to get through to the end, I think. But he's not, you know, bad to spend time with because he's Lorenz Hart. Being Lorenz Hart when there are people around him that he can either make into an audience or he can uh, interact with on a level that he feels matches his own, whether that is intellectually and artistically, as he speaks with E.B. White, or as he speaks with his, you know, past partner, Rogers, or whether that's on an attempt to to connect on an emotional level as he does with Elizabeth. I think it's really good. And just one to one, as you said, Dave, Cannavale's great as Eddie the barman. I think that's that actually helps to break up a film that could have otherwise gotten bogged down in these series of encounters that might have gotten too awkward or been overwhelmed with spite or just taken on this sort of toxicity that make it less pleasant to sit through. So I think it's, the Robert Kapler's screenplay inspired by those letters is, I'm going to say, pretty well done, although it does always feel like a play, a stage piece put on film. But Linklater directs well enough. I just think it's like it all works. Decisions were made to help this avoid the absolute sort of trap it could have been. So yeah, I was pleased by that, but I wasn't sure you guys would like it. I think Hawk is great in this. I think he's he's pretty superb. It's a great performance. I can see why they're not necessarily going to shower him with awards or any more awards. I don't know if he's won anything for us. There is a bit of it. It does feel like an actor's piece. So, like for me, I could watch this. I was thinking it's great to watch Ethan Hawke getting to do all of this, if you know what I mean. I didn't sit there thinking, oh, my God, this Lorenz Hart is quite a character. I always thought of it as Hawke playing the character, playing him well and doing a great job, but having a great time with every aspect of that. So it felt like, he's had a long-term relationship with Linklater, and this felt like another case of Linklater coming to him with the idea and them knowing that they could just really enjoy it. He would be up to the par. It would work for them. But he's great here, and I'm happy that I picked this. I was worried if I picked something like Dead Poets Society, we would have just been sitting here still now while Dave was trying to get to the end of his 45-minute rant about
Yes.
what a piece of shit it
Fucking
was
hate
and
that
how
movie.
nobody reads anything properly nowadays, and Captain bullshit. I know your
Oh,
rage
man,
vein is throbbing now.
I could go so that fucking bullshit. Fucking hate that movie. Fucking
So
good
I mean,
performance, but I fucking hate that movie.
and I knew it was so it was just like potluck for later Ethan Hawke roles, and I thought let's pick this one. This is one that's in consideration. As Craig said, I saw that clip. I like that, and I agree with Craig. Like there are other actors I could see or hear saying something along similar lines. I would just think, well, they're saying that because they think it might get picked up or it looks good. With Hawk, it seemed to be an aside to someone else, and other people try to make out what he said, and you can't believe it. That is, he seems to live and breathe the art and the craft of acting, and he always wants to help and inspire others from the anecdotes I've heard and from how he conducts himself with others. I also agree with Dave on Andrew Scott in this. I think I've enjoyed a lot of Andrew Scott's performances over the past couple of years. He's been a couple of good things. Oh God, what was the one with Paul Mescal again? The Strangers.
All of Us Strangers.
All of Us
Beautiful
Strangers.
film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty good. I was
That's
kind
good.
of I could only think of that terrible Ripley series.
Right. Okay. I
That
didn't
was
watch it.
just there's no forgiveness for that shit.
He's not like, I think he can be good, but it's not always a guarantee. Like, I think he was pretty sort of underused and didn't really make an impact in the Wake Up Dead Man film. Um, there's other stuff where he's been a little bit middling. I think he's really good here. I thought he did, like, he just did well enough. He actually convinced me of him being that character more than Hawk convinced me of him being Lorenz Hart. And I say that's only in terms of me always thinking of that being a good performance, but Hawk having fun. With Andrew Scott, I did stop quite quickly thinking, oh, that's Andrew Scott putting on an accent and playing it apart. I thought he was really good. I thought their scenes together were real highlights. I mean, you could say the heart of the film is Heart with Elizabeth Wayland, played well by Margaret Qualley, but I think it's the Hart and Rogers scenes that are, I mean, they're captivating. They are polite, they're friendly, they're sweet, they're barbed, they dance around. There's cloaked insults, there's a number of overt insults, there's different viewpoints clashing, and it all happens just in that they're almost trying to snatch little bits of their conversation, piece them together while other people in the room are waiting to get time, certainly with Rogers, and while things are going on before they go out of one another's orbit again for the evening, and you know that it's, there's no, that there doesn't seem to be any major resentment or anger there from Rogers' side. There is some, but he does say we can work together on this, but I don't want to, get into this pattern of what happened before, try to find you, try to do this, try to do that. I think it's really good, and it really underlines the inherent sadness of how Hart is viewing himself, because you actually see a lot of respect and love for him from Rogers for where Hart sort of took him, where he gave him his start, and what he's done, and you also see that from a couple of others in the room, people who sort of come to acknowledge like what Hart's work has done over the years, but you never really get the impression that Hart himself fully sees or appreciates his own talent being out there. He's always thinking of the next thing. He's always wanting to outdo either himself or others. He's always, I guess that is, you could say it's part of the nature of an addict in a way, sort of chasing the next thing, chasing the next high. He had he's got his drinking issues that are addressed throughout the movie as well, and part of that. It comes together really well. I think there is a sweetness at the heart of it with Hawk's scenes with Qualley, but as I say, for me, the real highlights are his scenes with Andrew Scott, and it's Lorenz Hart and Richard Rogers. That was an unexpected delight for me, and it's an unexpected delight that you guys all really enjoyed it. I thought this was going to be quite an up and down episode. So
Well, that conversation on the staircase was definitely the highlight of the film.
That was a good
Just
one.
watching that.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's a conversation with like a 3-act structure. It's changing the relationship like multiple times. It's just such a well written scene.
Yeah, you put it perfectly. It does. Like you can almost see the transformations happening around them, and you're like, can it swirl round to get back to where they have been before when they were at their best or closest? Like, what is going to be the end result of all these different conversations throughout that evening?
This is actually the second time Linklater and screenwriter Robert Kaplow worked on a project together. Do you know the other one?
Was it some book that none of us have read, Dave? Are you going to tell me some book?
Well, Kaplow wrote a book that Linklater based a movie on.
I wouldn't know off the top of my head.
I am shocked that Tyler doesn't know this one.
Which one is it?
2008, starring Zac Efron and Claire Danes. Me and Orson Welles. is
You
a
know,
book by
I actually haven't seen that.
Robert Kaplan. Yeah, that
Oh,
Linklater adapted into a movie. It is not one of his better ones.
I like it. I always forget it's Linklater though. It doesn't necessarily sit as comfortably alongside his other like more recognizably stamped films, if that
Well,
makes sense.
we'll probably relitigate this whole discussion in 2039 when we watch Linklater's Merrily We Roll Along film.
Well, before that comes, and in celebration of this evening, I get to gleefully ask Tyler to summarize Noise.
It's about a woman with a hearing impediment who's haunted by sounds linking to her sister's disappearance and the presence of a malevolent spirit. That sounds good, right?
Yeah.
I thought this was just okay. I don't know. When it comes to South Korean horror, I feel like I've seen way better. This feels like a checklist of stuff you've seen in a lot better of movies from South Korea. The typical tropes, which is totally fine. A lot of them do work well here, so that's not really a knock on the movie itself. I guess its use of sound is really good. Like the sound design is actually pretty fucking fantastic in here. I mean, it's funny because Dave picked this the same week as that one A24 Undertone came out, and it's like that's also like a sound based horror movie, and I'm looking forward to that one as well. So, but the movie itself is really atmospheric, and it has this feeling of lingering dread constantly. Pacing was a bit uneven though, but it still has like a good slow burn pace and works for the tone of the movie. I feel like it starts super solid, but then it loses steam in the middle a lot, but then it picks up again in the final act. Final act saved it for me for sure. But just as a whole, nothing really stood out for me when it comes to just being memorable. The lead is really good though. I really like the lead in this. It's well shot, it's well made, it looks good. It's just one of those movies that worked for me fine while it was on, but it left like no impression after it was over. Like it was over and yeah, that was it. But not bad. Just I've seen way better South Korean horror movies, but it's not bad. It's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, it's funny. I assumed like if any of the films I watched this week was going to give me like a keen insight into Kevin's mind, it would be Ratcatcher. You know, those long summers of animal cruelty and accidental drownings. It must take you back, Kevin, when you watch Ratcatcher. But
Happy
no,
days, Craig. Happy days.
happy days. This is the one. This is the one that really gave me insight into Kevin's mind because it is the most 7 out of 10 film I think I've ever seen in my life. Like I felt like I was inside Kevin's head, hallucinating number sevens, like Russell Crowe in A Beautiful Mind, just firing them at me. Just it was so violently like 7 out of 10, and it was deeply frustrating if I'm honest, because like this film builds tension like nobody's fucking business. There are these really effective suspense sequences that have me really on edge. But this film cannot pay off a suspense sequence to save its fucking life. Like they are all punctuated with like cheap, lazy, generic jump scares, and it was really irritating. The cast are really good, particularly Lee Sung Bin and Ryu Kyung Soo. I'll go with that. They're doing their absolute best, but all their roles are underwritten, and it's just it's just that kind of tiresome everyone's traumatized shorthand backstory. It's very this will do. There's nothing really compelling about the characters. This kind of prowling camera work is really strong. Like it really helps maintain tension really well. But the cinematography is, for me, it's too sharp. It's too clean. Apart from those soft focus flashbacks, which I found a little insulting. Like, yeah, I get that it's a flashback. You don't have to do it in like soft focus. It looks very silly, but it's too sharp and clean to get the atmosphere I think the film's reaching for. The sound design, strongest element of the film by far, really strong. But like as I said, it's the same thing I mentioned like a minute ago. There's too many sequences where the sound design does such great work, and it's all undone by the need to go for these like lazy visual scares that just don't work. And like I could shrug it off if if this film had like 7 out of 10 right through it, like fucking Brighton Rock, just solid 7 out of 10, I could shrug it off. But like a lot of its separate elements, it cannot stick the landing, and it really doesn't in the third act. I'm total opposite of Tyler. The third act was easily the weakest section of this film. There is so much nonsense. Like there are nonsense decisions. Like it should not take an hour in our time and days in the characters' time before they search that fucking stinky basement. It just shouldn't. The dialogue is kind of nonsense. Like, oh, we should split up because it's almost nighttime in this pitch black basement that we're already exploring via torchlight. Who gives a fuck if it's nighttime? You're not. Ugh. It was very irritating, and like the bit that really bothered me was it wants to have its cake and eat it with the reveal. Like, have it be something supernatural or have it be something grounded. Don't be so non-committal. And I think that is Noise's principal issue, because there is loads of great stuff, but it's generally very non-committal in a multitude of kind of first-time director ways. It's all stuff that will come from experience and confidence later on, but it's very much a first-time director movie, and it just doesn't have the confidence to go with that stuff that really works. Like the sound design scares, there shouldn't have been any visual scares. It should have all been the sound design, but the director just didn't have the confidence to push that, I don't think. And like I liked Noise, but there's a certain amount of promise that just goes unrealized, like frustratingly unrealized, because it's close. It's close to being something a little special. And I still think like Kim Soo-jin is a filmmaker to keep an eye on, because like I say, as they get more experience, as they get more confidence, I'm sure they're going to make something great. But this was very, very 7 out of 10, and I'm just waiting for Kevin to confirm that.
Well, in a shocking turn of events, Craig was more Kevin than Kevin this week, because I reckon I settle on a 6 out of 10 for this one. Sorry, Craig.
Okay, that's all right.
But I understand your point, and I pretty much agree with everything you say. The thing that takes it down that extra point is just in comparison to so many other films that many of us have watched, whether they're the South Korean horrors or the Japanese horrors or just other atmospheric tales that have thrilling elements plus ghosty frights and spookiness. It just doesn't really match up to any of those. The sound design was the best bits, but it didn't come together well for me, like at all. I didn't care for how the plot was unfolding. It felt like we as viewers were 2 or 3 steps ahead of the main character. There were some subtle touches that were actually, for me, a bit too subtle, and then when things paid off at the end, I was in remembering the sort of the reference points from earlier. I was like, oh yeah, of course, but not in a way that impressed me, because I still had all of the bigger picture felt like it all just felt there from very early on. It were the details that could have made a better impression, but they didn't. They weren't done well enough. None of the scares or tension or atmosphere was done well enough, and it's a shame, because it is a really good central idea, and there are effective moments here with a neighbor who keeps asking them to please not make noise after a certain time, and you just get the idea that that's going to sort of escalate and escalate, but it only goes to a certain point, and then is kind of headed off because of reasons that are tied in with the plot that we are getting to see unfold. But it's still, I think, I think leaning into the potential for the madness and the noises turning people against one another, you get a bit of that here. But I think focusing on that and building that up would have been a better way to do this, rather than what we get in the third act is a lot of stuff we've seen done a lot better in other films. Now I did like the last scene. It's just quite an enjoyable little button on things. Like I really liked that, but it was better than, I would say, a good 60 to 70% of the rest of the movie, because the rest of it just didn't hold my interest. I for the most part I wasn't as bothered by the relationship between the sisters, even though it is all about one sister looking for the other sister who's gone, missing. Yeah, it just didn't work. But then when you stand back and look objectively, there's a lot here that's decent in terms of the craft and the performances. And again, got to mention the sound design. But for I think for horror movie fans, particularly those who've enjoyed other South Korean horrors and the likes, this won't do it for them. Sorry, Dave. Although I'm not even sure if you loved it yet, because we shall now hear your take.
Yeah, I hadn't seen this before. I just wanted to pick something folks hadn't been talking about that sounded interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike you guys, I don't just pick things I love, which is a weird choice for me, Tyler, but whatever. It's okay. Like, I'm more in line with Craig than Kevin. I think technically it's really well done. There's some good atmosphere and some nice tension and some good moments. I really like the lead was solid. The whole cast is mostly decent. It does really fall apart. The screenplay is terrible, and oh my god, that last act. How long do you have to drag this shit out? Like, it is obvious what is going to happen every step of the way, and it just refuses to get on with it. So by the time it's like, here's the reveal, it's like, well, yeah, no shit. I figured this out 15, 20 minutes ago.
I would have been in that basement in the first act.
Right? Oh, wow, it smells like something's dead in there. Let's not. We'll just lock the door, despite the fact that there's multiple missing people in this building. There's issues with it. I enjoyed it more than Kevin, though. I usually like to say he's too kind. I don't think he's being kind enough this time, because if you compare it, like, most stuff we get out of South Korea until very recently has been the cream of the crop, the best of the best, the auteurs making their tour de forces. So, yeah, like, it's going to raise the bar in comparison to other films. But fortunately, because streaming is getting more and more diversified, and a certain little nation is very in vogue for pop culture, we're going to see a lot more South Korean stuff. And you'll get to experience the true breadth and width of how bad most of their movies are. Usually that's something we only reserve for English-speaking countries, so good on you, South Korea. Yeah, here's the thing. Like, when I watch a horror movie for the first time, do you know what my main thing is when it's all said and done, if somebody asks me what I think about it?
But
If you need a first time watch while doing a horror challenge run in October, will it hurt you? No. This one won't hurt you. You'll watch much worse. It's perfectly it's a 7 out of 10 movie, and it is the most 7 out of 10 movie you will ever see. And it's a little frustrating because you can see there's flashes of something much better there. Like, the filmmaker could deliver something better. The lead could deliver something better. The screenwriter couldn't deliver anything better, but that's okay. I like how they get the most mileage out of that same apartment just being redressed for other buildings. There's bits I like. I do wish the characters were a little smarter, a lot smarter. I do wish the reveal that others were hearing it in that like that had come up more, besides just you're not supposed to hear it. Well, yeah, no shit, you're not supposed to hear it. We've had that driven into our head from the beginning, and now an hour and 20 minutes you're going to just say it outright. Come the fuck on. Didn't love it, but I liked it more than Kevin. So that's something, right? I mean, I liked it more than Horror Express also, which is the movie I was planning on picking. So it turns out better for me than it could have. Yay for semi-unhappy accidents. All right, guys, it's time to pick one. I don't think this is going to be a difficult one for any of us.
Yeah, Blue Moon.
It's Blue Moon, yeah.
Yep, Blue Moon.
Hey, sweep.
No, you didn't actually say it. So is it
It's
you're
Blue
going
Moon,
with
and
okay.
this. I'm
Alright.
already thinking ahead that because we're swapping
Right,
partners, this will be my last sweep in about 2 years.
Hey, to be fair, we usually swap every 6 months or so. It was a little longer for reasons
Okay,
this time, but
that's
generally,
fine. I'm not getting a sweep for months anyway after this.
well,
You'll be with me,
no,
Kevin.
wait, yeah, you're
You'll
going
get
with
many.
T.
You'll
Craig,
get
what are you
many a
talking
sweep.
about? Yeah, I'm going with T.
I'm going to be bringing hot trash and just giving you all the sweeps.
Yeah,
you
because
can
it
deliver
was you
up
and it was you.
desire.
It was okay. It started. It was me and T, and then we
Right.
switched things up. And then last setup before this one, it was you and T. I haven't picked against Tyler for a while, so it's going to be me and T and you and Craig.
To be honest, I just throw my car keys in a bowl and don't look at who's pulling them out. So
Well, I mean, to be fair,
that's on me.
That is the best way to do it. I like to stare him in the eye and then feel intimidated and lesser. But that's not quite yet. Next week, it's just a normal week with Craig and Tyler picking. What do you guys have for us?
Do you want me to go first, or you want to go first, Craig?
Yeah, sure. You go first, Tyler.
Okay, I'm gonna do. Should I announce my Hammer horror as well?
No, because we did the
Oh.
others, so we've got a week in advance. So you hold on to
okay.
that. You hold on to that until the week before, and keep people in anticipation. Yes, I forgot how that word ended. Sorry.
I will.
I was really anticipating the end of that word. Like, come on.
Spoiler: there is lesbians in my Hammer pick, so that is coming up, but I won't say the pick yet. Next week, we are watching A Normal Life from 1996, which is directed by John McNaughton, the man who gave us Henry: Portrait of a Serial Killer.
And from me, the natural pairing of Tyler's pick and the 1994 Martin Short comedy Clifford.
Oh my God! What the fuck, man?
Oh, I'm sorry, that has just really tickled me. Tyler's like from the director of Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. Ashley Johnson it. Craig's like Clifford.
Yeah, get our Clifford on.
Oh man. I've only seen snippets of Clifford. I'm already worried.
I've seen all of Clifford. It's been a minute, but
Wow.
It's
I've
Martin
avoided-
Short playing a
I've
10-year-old boy annoying Charles Grodin for 90 minutes.
Yeah, with
I've
Mary
avoided,
Steenburgen. Yeah.
I've avoided Clifford for like years.
Yay.
Well, and now you're gonna face it head on, and just for that, I asked Craig to give us the bidness this time, but I know he doesn't know it.
I don't know any of that, the
Yeah.
business. Well, look, I should have had it. I should have had it in my head from Tyler, but he's so slick
should've.
with it. I can't.
You should have.
No, I'm not that slick. Goatee.
You know, I was praying it was just Clifford the Big Red Dog movie from 2021. Just praying. That would go so much better with Ashley Judge's tits. But you know, hey, whatever. We're on Instagram, Raiders_of_the_podcast. We're on Facebook, where I sometimes remember to post stuff on Wednesdays. We have a YouTube channel where you can like, subscribe, and comment and watch Kevin's awesome videos. We have a Discord, we have a Blue Sky, and you can always email us at raidersofthepodcast@gmail.com.
As always, thanks for joining us. Guys, thanks for listening. I'll talk to you next week. I mean, maybe. I don't know what Clifford's going to do to me.
I'll see you guys next
Yeah.
week.
See ya.
Woo.